Shalom. We'd like to thank you for joining us today, and we hope you enjoy these lessons. And today we are dealing again with the book of John in Hebrew, and that is also called Yehuchanan or Yochanan or John. And we are dealing with chapter 7. So we're beginning with chapter 7, verses 1 to 4. So let us continue. And first, I like to always show you a chart of the vowel marks for anyone who's relatively new, and they are called Nikud. And then we have these great resources that we would encourage you to use because they will give you a lot of help. And when we're looking for the root words and that, we look up the Do It in Hebrew dictionary, which is more a modern Hebrew, but it will help a lot. So let us begin. So, of course, we start with one, which is represented with an aleph, and then we go through the letters, just so that we're completely used to the letter structures. We have an aleph, a chet, a resh, a hey, a dalet, a vayet, resh, yod, mem, sofit. That means a mem at the end of a word. Hey, aleph, lamed, hey. Hey, lamed, kaf, sofit. Kaf at the end of a word. Yod, hey, vav, shin, ayin, bayet, aleph, resh, zade, zofit. Zade at the end of a word. So we read it. Achar, which means after. Ha devarim, the words. Now that can also be translated as the things, but we're using the words. That's the most basic word meaning. Ha'ele, these. Halak, he went. It's like a perfect form of halak, which we see down here as a cul verb to go, to walk, to proceed, to leave. So he went, and then who went? Yahushua, be'eretz, into the land. And I've added of, into the land of. After these things, Yeshua went into the land. And we can see that the translation is always how we would normally read it in English. So we're going to now read that without any aids. Achar ha devarim ha ele halak Yahushua be'eretz. And the translator, after the words these, he went, Yahusha, into the land of. And that's an alternative name from Yahushua. And then we also have the more common one, Yeshua. And so now we come to 1b, and we have Hey, Gimel, Lamed, Yod, Lamed. Hey, Lamed, Vav, Kaf, Sofit, Vav, Ayin, Vayet, Vav, Resh, Kaf, Yod, Lamed, Aleph, Chet, Fei, Zade, Sofit, Lamed, Hey, Tav, Hey, Lamed, Kaf, Sofit. And we read, Ha-Galil, the Galil, and that's why I added of before, into the land of the Galil. Halok, going. Why is it going? Because with the cholam up there, we could say it's like a participle, so the land going, ve arvor, and passing, same sort of idea. It's a participle form, so it means and passing, and I've added, because the English often adds through, but literally and passing. Key 4, lo, not, chafetz, he desired. Now if we look down here, chafetz, is a cul verb to want, to desire, to wish. And then we have the last one, lehit ha-lek, to walk. And many translations will have himself, because it's about him, of course. And the translation, in the land of the Galil, continually passing through, for he did not desire to walk. And I've also given you avar, which is a cul verb to cross, to pass, to transverse. And that's the root word of this one. Now I've given a note for your help. The last word is a hit payel verb stem, expressing a reflective action. It has a prefix of hit, and usually a dagesh in the second radical. And as we can see here, you've got a dagesh there. It conveys self-involvement. So that means he didn't desire to walk himself. That's why we've added that. Right, now we're going to read that. And it is Ha-galil, Ha-lok, Ve'avor, Ki-lo, Ha-fetz, Lehit ha-lek. The Galil, going and passing, we can say through, for not he desired to walk himself. And so we turn to 1c. And we have a bet, yod, hey, vav, dalet, hey, ayin, lamed, aleph, shin, resh, bet, kuf, shin, vav, hey, yod, hey, vav, dalet, yod, mem, safid, lamed, hey, mem, yod, taf, vav. And we read it. Be Yahuda. Be Yehuda means in Yehuda or in Judea in the English. Al, and that could be about, or shir, that, about that. Translated as because al has quite a few meanings, but it can be regarding, about, on, upon, various like that. So we're using it as about that. Translated as because often. Bikshu, they were seeking. Now what's the root of that? Bikesh. It's a PL verb to seek, to want, to demand, to crave. So they were seeking. Ha-Yahudim, that's who, the Yehudim, the Jews. La ha-mito, for his death. Right, we look down here. Hemit is a verb to put to death, to execute. Then we have mut, which is a noun meaning death. Then we have met, which is a cul verb to die. And then mavet, masculine noun meaning death. So I'm giving you all these variations of it so that you can identify them when you see it. So for his death. So he did not desire to walk in Judea, since the Jews were seeking to put him to death. Remembering we're only in chapter 7, and already their desire was to kill him, to put him to death. So let us read that now. Be Yahuda al Ashir Bikshu ha-Yehudim la ha-mito. In Yehuda, about that, they were seeking the Yehudim for his death. And so, now we turn to verse 2. It's represented with a vayet, which is also, if it had a dot in it, it would be called a bayet. But they Often we'll call it a bayit because they don't add the vowel marks into the normal letter. So we go through the letters. Vav Yod Kuf Resh Vayet, Chet Gimel, Hey Yod Hey Vav Dalet Yod Mem Safit Chet Gimel, Hey Samek Kaf Vav Tav. So we read it. Vayik Rav, and it drew near. There's no pronoun, so we can sometimes add he. It depends on the context. But here it is it, because it's dealing with the next word, which is chag, meaning the feast, and I've added of. Ha-Yehudim, the Jews. Chag, the feast of Ha-Sukkot, of Sukkoth, Tabernacles. So the feast of the Jews, the feast of booths, was drawing near. And we have karav, which is a kal verb, to approach, to draw near, and we have kerev, and that's the form where it's a masculine noun, and it means interior or insides. I did add a note here. Calling this feast a feast of the Jews may be a translator's addition, as though the translator's writing it to the Gentiles, since Vayikra, Leviticus 23, calls them the feast of Yahuwah or Yahweh. It does not call it the feast of the Jews. And so, now we can read that. Vayik Rav Chag Ha-Yehudim Chag Ha-Sukkot. And it drew near the feast of the Yehudim, the feast of Sukkot, which of course we should know as Tabernacles. And so now we turn to verse 3, represented with a gimel. And we go through the letters. Vav, Yod, Aleph, Mem, Resh, Vav. Aleph, Lamed, Yod, Vav. Aleph, Chet, Yod, Vav. Kuf, Vav. Mem, Sofit. Vav, Lamed, Kaf, Sofit. Mem, Zion, Hey. Aleph, Resh, Zade, Hey. You'll notice the Aleph is in white, and the reason I've done that is because we do not pronounce it. So we read, Va-yom-ru, and they said, pronoun being on the end, Elev, unto him, Echav, his brothers, and we see because of the Yod, it's plural, so it's brothers, because the root of that, Ach, is brother. Kum, rise. Now we got come down there as a kal verb. It means to wake up, to arise, to stand up. So we got kum in this form, and it means arise as well. Velek, and go. Of course, that root is halak, meaning to go, to proceed, to walk, to leave. So, and go. Mize, literally it means from this, and I've added place, from this place. Arsa, to the land, and I've added of. Why is it to? Because the hey at the end is actually a directional hey, so it means to the land. So his brothers said to him, arise and go from here to the land. And so now we can read that. Vayomru, Elev, Echav, Kum, Velek, Mizeh, Artsa. And they said unto him, his brothers, arise and go from this place to the land of. And then we get 3b. We got Ayod, Hey, Vav, Dalet, Hey, Lamed, Mem, Ayin, Nun, Safit, Yod, Resh, Aleph, Vav, Gimel, Mem, Safit, Tav, Lamed, Mem, Yod, Dalet, Yod, Kaf, Safit. And we read it. Yehuda. We know, of course, Yehuda is Judea. Lema'an, so that Yeru, they shall see. And I've got some arrows here. The Yod makes it imperfect, and the U at the end is the pronoun they. Gum also talmidei ka, also your disciples. The your part is the ka at the end. So, to the land of Judea, so that your disciples may also see. And we have ra'ah, which is a kol verb, to see, to perceive. And of course, that's the root of this word here, ra. But in its normal form, it's had a hey dropped off, so that it's ra'ah, kol verb. So now we can read that. Yehuda, le'ma'an yiru gam talmidei ka. Again, because of the yod, it's plural. Yehuda, or Judea, so that they shall see also your disciples. And that's a plural form. And so we turn to 3c. We have an aleph, a tav, a hey, a mem, an ayin, sin, yod, mem, safit. Aleph, shin, resh, aleph, tav, hey, ayin, sin, hey. Right, and we read it. Well, that's of course the grammar marker. Ha, ma, sim. And that, of course, comes from here. Ma, say. It's a masculine noun meaning act, action, deed. Right? It means the deed. It's a noun form. Asher, that. Ta, you. And I've added are. Reason being that the next one is say. Doing. It's like a participle form that you are doing. Right? And of course it comes from asa, which means to do. So, may also see, that's the disciples, the works that you do. That's how it's translated. And so we read it. Et ha ma'a sim asher ta o say. Grammar marker, the deeds that you are doing. And now we turn to 4a. It's represented with a dalet, which has a value of 4. Then we have a kaf, yod, lamed, aleph, yod, ayin, sin, hey, aleph, yod, shin, dalet, vayet, resh, bayet, samek, tav, resh, vav, hey, vav, aleph, chet, Fei, and Fei Sade. Sade Sofit. Right, now what do we notice? Again, the aleph is in white, and probably the most significant thing is that this is a sin, not a shin. That if the dot was on the right side, it'd be shin, on the left side, sin. So let's read it now. Ki, for, lo, not, ya, say, not, shall do, or he shall do. Ish, a man. Davar, meaning a thing. Now we remembered that davar can also mean word. If we looked at it, it means word, thing, or event. So in this case, we can say a thing. Ba, se, sater, in secret. Again, the bed is in sater, which I've got down there. Sater, masculine noun, meaning hideaway, mystery, secret. So in secret, the who and he chafetz, desires, and he desires. And then I've given you down here a bit extra. Asa is a call verb to do, to make, to act, to perform. Then I've given you this one, which we've seen, and then we say dever, which is a different form, but it's a masculine noun meaning plague. Looks very similar, as you see, but the vowel marks are different, and it means plague. That's why I included that one. So the translation for no one performs anything in secret while he himself wants. So we're going to read that now. And it is, Ki lo ya'aseh ish davar ba'seter v'hu chafetz. For not shall do a man a thing in secret, and he desires. And so we come to 4b. We have a lamed, a hey, a vav, dalet, ayin, aleph, mem safit, ayin, sin hey, aleph, tav hey, kaf, aleph, lamed hey, hey, resh, aleph, hey. And we read it. Lehi vadea, lehit vadea, to be known. And it's like what we call causative action, to cause to be known. Right, but we have to see what is its root. What we discover is that because this vav here has actually replaced a yod, because the root word is yada, which is a kol verb to know, to be aware, to recognize. And then it's a hifeld, which is causative, because that's a form too, with the hey being a hifel. So it means, and the lamed, of course, is to cause to be known. And then im, if, o, say, doing, if he is doing, you could say. Ata, which is if doing, you. Ka'ele, like, that's the kaf, these. Hera'e, show, and then we could add yourself. So again, it's like a hifil, to cause to be seen is actually how you could think of it. And I've given you a few down here. Hodia, which is a verb to announce, to notify, to make known, because again, it's like a hifil type. And then we've got hera, which is to demonstrate or to show, which is the sort of basic word we got up here. Then we've got nera, which is a verb to appear, to be visible. And then we've got ra'ah, to see, to perceive, to understand. So I'm giving you extra bits of information to help you understand the words that surround that word. So let us read it now. Lehi vadea im osei ata ka'ele hera'e. To be known, or to cause to be known, if doing you like these, show yourself. And the English, of course, while he desires to be known openly, if you do these things, show. And we could say, show it, you know. And so we come to 4c. We have an aleph lamed, hey, ayin, vav, lamed, mem safit, and el meaning to, ha'olam, to the world, to the world. Show yourself to the world. And we just read it. El ha'olam, to the world. And now finally we come to our revision on this section. And so we come to the Aleph, which we know has a value of 1. Achar, after, ha-davarim, the words, ha'ele, these, halak, he went, Yahushua, be'eretz, into the land, and we could add of. After the words these, he went, Yahushua, into the land of. And then we have Ha-Galil, the Galil, Halok, going, Ve'avor, and passing, and we could add through, Ki for, lo not, Chafetz, he desired, Lehit halek, to walk himself. The Galil, going and passing through, for not he desired to walk himself. Be Yehuda, in Judea, al regarding asher that, or because, bikshu, they sought, or they were seeking, ha-Yehudim, the Jews, la-ha-mito, for his death. Literally, it's to cause his death, because that's like a Hiffeld as well. In Yehuda, or Judea, about that, because they were seeking the Yehudim, the Jews, for his death, or to cause his death. And then we get Vayat, which has a value of 2. Vayik Rav, and it drew near, Chag, the feast of, Ha-Yehudim, the Jews, Chag, the feast of, Ha-Sukkoth, the feast of Tabernacles. And it drew near, the feast of the Yehudim, the feast of Sukkoth, Tabernacles. And then we have Gimel, which is 3, Vayomru, and they said, Eliav, unto him, Echayev, his brothers, come arise, velek, and go, mize, from this, and we could add place, artsa, to the land. And they said unto him, his brothers, arise and go from this place to the land of Yehuda, Judea, le ma'an, so that Yiru, they shall see, gum also, tell me de ka, your disciples. Yehuda, or Judea, so that they shall see also your disciples. And so we turn to 3c, 8, which is a grammar marker, ha-ma'asim, the deeds, asher, that, ata, you, and you could say you are, say, doing. Grammar marker, the deeds that you are doing. And we have a dalet. We know there's a value of 4, so in verse 4, ki lo, for not, ya'a, say, he shall do, ish, a man, davar, a thing, ba, seter, in secret, vehu, and he, chafetz, desires. 4, not he shall do a man a thing in secret, and he desires. Le he vadea, to cause to be known. Im, if, say, he's doing, or he does, ata you, if doing you, ka ele, like this or these, hera which of course means to show, to cause to be seen, so to show. To be known if doing you like these, show. And I've added yourself. And then we come to 4c, which is El Ha'olam, to the world. To the world. And then finally, of course, we like to always remind everyone who might be joining what the vowel marks are. We have a kamatz, and that gives us the A sound, the longer A sound. Then we have the shorter A sound, patak. And we have zere, which is the longer E sound. Sego, shorter E sound. Shava, that breaks the words up into syllables. And then we have cholam, that's the O sound. Then we have shuruk, the U, short U sound. Then we have kubutz, a bit longer U. Then we have a combination of shavar and segol. It's called a kataf, segol, a shorter E sound. And then we have chirik, that's the I sound. Then we have kataf, patak, again, shorter A after the shavar. And then we have kataf, kamatz, a longer A after the shavar. And at the end, we again repeat our resources, and we have a special chart with all the values of the letters, which we always do randomly so that we just try to remember what value they have. Samak has a value of 60, Lamed 30, Gimel 3, Zion 7, Shin 300, Zade 90, Kuf 100, Nun 50, Resh 200, Kaf 20, and Shin 300. Just helping us remember each letter and its value. So when we see a Shin, we straight away think of 300. And so we'd like to thank you for joining us, and we just pray that these lessons do bless you and you get more interested in beginning to understand the Hebrew. And why do we learn it? Because we believe it is the holy tongue. Lashon HaKodesh, the holy tongue. And also because it'll help us read the scriptures in their original form, at least the Old Testament, what we call the Old Testament, the Tanakh. And so we like to thank you, and we want to say Shavua Tov, have a good week, and we hope to see you again.